Friends and family, thank you for joining me here at the American News Network with Chris Sanders. That's a major news network on Apple and on Google Play phones. Well, as Wagon Joe cruises down onto the Amazon, he gets frisky. Oh, yeah, he does. And he decides, you know what, Vladimir, I'm going to go ahead and give you the authority to go ahead and bomb Putin. I'm feeling crazy. Yep. So that's one. And then so Putin slowly starts moving his stuff out of the way. Keep in mind, he meets up with Xi Jinping down there. Xi Jinping of China says, Wagon Joe, I'm going to give you 4 lines to not cross. 1 is Taiwan is ours. 2, stop messing around in the Ukraine. Okay, I hear you loud and clear. And as soon as he leaves, one of them red lines is out the window, and that is authorizing the Ukraine to attack Russia. So Biden crosses multiple red lines, and China, as such, is looking forward to doing business with Trump because it was either doing business with Trump or a nuclear annihilation of the world, and that is where good old Wagon Joe and Jack Porn Pack Corn Pop, you know the guy, you know the thing, right? Okay, so Zelensky, he then bombs Russia. Oh, it's a sad day in America because Wagon Joe authorizes our laundromat out there to go ahead and poke the Russian bear. So will Mother Russia and Uncle Sam conceive a child, or will this race go nuclear? Well, I tell you, the people of Finland, they're unhappy about it. So is Sweden. Let me tell you, I give you 48 hours to a week to surrender. Russia's moving its nukes about. And this has been Biden's number 3 warning. And Biden doesn't care. You see, he might even pass away from old age. It doesn't matter. Because as he's getting old and Trump's coming in, we have something in America that we're recognizing here in the first time. And it's called Jewish superiority. Do you have Jew in you? Because if you do, well, your life means more than the surrounding children. In fact, our country's willing to back that to where we'll blow you to kingdom come and to ashes we shall all be, because for some reason we're getting brainwashed into believing that grace wasn't given to us. Even though there's probably about 50 verses that point out that grace is then bestowed upon the Gentiles that do believe that they have been graced by Christ. So, Jewish superiority. I guess in America we need to tell everybody from the 22 Muslim states that are actually Semitic people. They say, well, are you being anti-Semitic? Oh, well, no. What does Semitic mean? It means people that actually speak Old Ancient Aramaic. Did you know that's what Yeshua spoke? He didn't speak Hebrew. No, he spoke Ancient Aramaic, which is closer to today's Arabic. And if you were to do a DNA deep crawl, you'd find that the people of Palestine even are more Jew than what you might find Jew today. Most of my friends are Ashkenazi Jews. See, they segregated up north after the Nebuchadnezzar and came from about 303 Middle Eastern and European people. And so we can see that if you see Fiddler on the Roof, if you understand, watch it again. They're all talking about Kiev and the Ukraine. Because Russia, and that part of Russia, was in fact Yiddish, Ashkenazi, Jew. So the war we're fighting today, if you didn't know, round 2, Nazi versus, but wait, Ashkenazi. It's interesting. So maybe some of us are understanding that we're here for Jewish superiority, and that Nazi that's in Ashkenazi means nothing about Nazi. Oh, no, it's just a coincidence. Now, how did in Aramaic they say God? This is just to clarify something for us. So even Jesus would have said God is Allah. And Abba Yama Samachini. My Lord, why have you forsaken me? You see, it was Aramaic. And this war was going on even when our beautiful Constitution was coming to, and this war was going on even back then, 248 years ago. So guess what we did? As soon as we made them Bill of Rights, we said, we got to give the people the freedom to have their religion. But we can't get crazy like we've been doing for thousands of years out there in Israel with the Inquisition and the Crusades. It's brought down Europe time and time again. Just read El Cid. Just think of the Moorish architecture. Just understand that this war between Christians and Muslims and Jews. So we got to put some words down. And how about this? That Congress shall make no law regarding the establishment of a religion. Oh, that's a good one. You see, the way I read that, America, that means this war that we're funding, even though we're funding Israel, let's say the 10 to 12 million Jews against the 2 billion Muslims, our founding fathers put the words in there that prohibits us from getting involved. Oh, yes. We cannot make a law. We cannot contribute to one faith more so than the other, or it defies the liberty in our Constitution for which we stand. We are all trying to seek that higher power to God. And as today, Finland and Sweden, Aina and Ole, in Europe as concerns mount over implications of President Jack Wagon Joe's recent policy shift. Oh, they're wanting shifty shift? Well, that's good. We got Matt Gaetz. Tell you about Matt Gaetz, what they don't like. I've actually hung out with the young man, and I'll tell you what he's all about. You ready to hear it? What makes them crap their pants, ladies and gentlemen? Term limitations. Firing every skeleton that serves us, starting from the stem, going to the stern. They're balls deep in trouble, I would say. But who is he going to get to disseminate Big Pharma? We need a face for that. We need somebody crazy, somebody that might actually go do falcon hunting and put bears and massacre them and stand up for the environment in weird areas. Anybody come to mind? Oh, RFK, how about that guy? And he's after Big Pharma. He's going to make America healthy again. I support you just fully. And I was there at Madison Square Garden the night that our Gothic MAGA, that'd be Elon Musk, Department of Government Efficiency. Now, what these boys are going to do, the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, with Vivek Ramaswamy, RFK will be taking on Big Pharma. And oh, yes, they will be quaking in their pants. I would be too. So the Pentagon is losing more money, apparently, America, than guess what? Our entire gross national profit. The shadow government is deep. Doge will be disseminated by Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. Don't worry, the president might be in danger. That's why he's been relocated today. Oh, yes. Because we can't trust the smooth transition of Jack Wagon Joe. You see, right before he got lost in the Amazon, he was saying, "Go ahead, Zelensky. It's fine with me if you just use the ATACMS all you can into the middle of Russia. Start World War III, basically, why don't you? So they'll get off my back. What else could that decrepit old crazy man be thinking? As these attackums fly behind me, into Russia, who's been no enemy of ours, a Christian country, I'm seeing the restraint once more. I'm seeing the crazy laundromat behind me between Wagon Joe and Nikolai Carpathia. That would be who I call Zelensky. You'd have to read the Left Behind series to understand Nikolai Carpathia, but he was one of the key players that someone could chime in on there. But good old Nikolai Carpathia and Wagon Joe. And thank God I see the restraint of Vladimir Putin. He has warned us 3 times of nuclear consequences. We have allowed this laundromat to not only rob us of our money, to not only get us involved into every Jewish war in existence from Israel to the Ukraine. So George Soros played his cards right. And President Nixon warned us about the power, the inherent power of a media. Oh yes, a media that could go out of control and take over our country, which it has. But purchased over 200 radio stations. It's hard to compete with such forces. It's hard to compete. What you're seeing is an animation of what Putin showed the United States when Trump was president 7 years ago, on how he was able to hit the United States even with the nuclear power that he contained back then. Today, he's much more prepared. Where is the commander-in-chief? Well, Air Force Trump, our solid gold orange man good with watermelon balls, has landed in Texas. And he will be there with Elon Musk. I'm glad you're in a state that's not, that's easier to protect you, sir. We need to keep the president protected. They're going to be trying all sorts of crazy stuff, you see. Big Pharma is going to be after him and RFK. Oh, yeah, they're going to be after Trump. He's going to get rid of the reserve, I've heard. All of these shadow government people in the Pentagon are going to get fired, so we need to protect Elon Musk. We need to protect Vivek Ramaswamy. We need to protect RFK. This is the new war we're fighting. It's us and our freedoms against the shadow government. And they're using more of our money against us, and we can't even account for it. That is the reason for the Department of Government Efficiency. We need to go after our unaccounted for money. It's walking hand in hand with Big Pharma. Proof of that is our war in Afghanistan, where we made the only legal place to grow opium. Afghanistan, while we let Big Pharma dictate the rules of Citizens for Freedom as we pull out and let their children dangle from aircrafts as we commit treason and fund the Taliban, the same way the previous administration funded ISIS, with the tools left over from Desert Storm in Iraq, giving it to ISIS. Barack Hussein Obama was guilty for that, just as Wagon Joe and the chef from South Park are equally as guilty with Governor Miley, the mullet. And we know that they aided and abetted the enemy. We know that the January 6ers were really peacefully assembling just as their constitutional rights, that our government was upheld and overthrown, and they used that prison term to all of those innocent citizens so that they could hijack the United States of America. They have stolen all of our money. We must do everything we can to reclaim that money. We need to give that bill to the 435 criminals that have stayed in office too long. Matt Gaetz is our key. I want to let you know he is for term limitations, and that's why he is there. Now, if you doubt me as far as why let me just say something. Let me talk about a play that I had to do as a child. And all day long one-eyed, bitty bomb. To work hard. Bada 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 bitty bomb. Well, the poor tailor mottled Tom Toyle, I was probably muted because of my lovely speaking. He was educated in Kiev, and this was the Ukraine, and the Ukraine became Russia, and there has been a battle. And most of the Jews in this area are actually Ashkenazi Jews, and it's a mix between European and far back in Middle Eastern. Many went north after Nebuchadnezzar came in and divided them, and then they were saved by Esther. They traveled north into Europe, and so that is their heritage. And so many people wonder if they're the true Jews versus the Sephardic, and understand that Yeshua was more of a dark-skinned, brown-eyed, probably Sephardic-looking Arabic type of Jew. But that is neither here nor there. And what is here nor there is what's going on in Europe. Okay. So we have Zelensky. He gets our toys immediately from Jack Wagon Knoble. And Evil Knievel says, Zelensky, you've run the finest laundromat I've ever had. Go ahead and just stick it up, Putin's, Polanski's, Roman Polanski's Russia. I will do this, President. So he does it. They go off. They shake hands. They're not even going to give my dearly beloved orange man good with watermelon balls the opportunity to step into peace. They're going to try to hand us World War III, step in there so that we don't examine the fact that they have robbed us blind. We have countries that are furious over this crap, as they should be. This is the Prime Minister, President Slovakia. And he was like, how dare you keep this old imbecile in office to threaten the lives of every Baltic state that we have. You are just despicable, worse than anybody we've ever seen. So Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico sharply criticized Jack Wagon Joe's decision to allow Ukraine strikes inside of Russia, calling it an unprecedented escalation that could derail peace talks and worsen tensions. And the Kremlin also warned that the move could exacerbate the potential conflict, and it could get very, very nasty. So no one likes Jack Wagon Joe. And on the 1,000 days of war, they celebrate by basically sending Roman candles into where they could cause serious damage. Again, thank you, President Putin, for not taking the bait. We need this transition to happen smoothly. And you're the only person keeping peace, because Jack Wagon Joe is trying to give you the bait. Now, I understand, and I think so does the American public, that if you pulverize Kiev, that's because the laundromat behind us here has completely asked for it at this point. And yeah, that's all I can say. This 1,000 days of war has been very interesting. Now, Putin met up with Xi Jinping, and you would think they're friends. And again, down in South America, they met, and he said, please don't cross these 4 red lines. And it was hard because they were talking so long-winded, but basically he wants to claim Taiwan as his. And then he says, stop aiding in the Ukraine. So as soon as they leave the meeting, he immediately violates that. So Xi Jinping is looking forward to hopefully talking with Trump, because he realizes that with Biden, he's looking at nothing but immediate conflict and war, and that Jack Wagon Joe is trying to start a nuclear war before he gets out of office. And again, the reason is crystal clear. It is because of the fact that he has stolen all of our money. Now, other world leaders are terrified at the moment, including little Kim right here. So Kim Jong-il of North Korea has sent over maybe 50,000 soldiers to the Ukraine. We can also know that he has activated all of his nuclear submarines. He's received new warheads and is in a full alliance with Russia against the United States, South Korea, and Taiwan. He claims that the United States with Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan is the Asian version of NATO, and that they are restricting free trade, and sometimes that they are good and sometimes they are bad, such as now he believes that we are behind the Nord Stream pipeline blow up, and that is so ridiculous. How could Wagon Joe do that? He admitted. Oh, he admitted it. So anyways, he's trying to get his soldiers a little bit more fat, and I think he's trying to integrate Korean men into the Ukrainian peninsula because he knows that's one way he can win people over is with Korean barbecue. And so he's a big fan of Korean barbecue. Be expecting Korean barbecue in the Ukraine because that's what they're after, and that's what Wagon Joe is trying to implement. But World War III is on, and they're testing out this munitions. And our crash test dummy is Zelensky and Benjamin Netanyahu. It's Jewish superiority against the world, and you would think that we would represent the world, but we're only representing Jewish superiority here in America. And it's because if you believe in them, you can go to heaven. No? Jesus. Okay, well, if you believe in Jesus and the Gentiles haven't, well, then why are we backing these people that, oh, you should read the Talmud? If you did, you wouldn't understand what we're backing, and it allows them basically to have 9-year-old boys that can copulate with adult girls, and even their adult men can copulate with 3-year-old girls. Everybody else that's not a part of them is trash and considered less than a dog. What? Yep. It's in the rule book. Some of us would know, some of us would not know. But you should know what we're backing. And you should know that the reason why Jesus said, treat your neighbor the way you want to be treated yourself. Well, he was given that message more for his own people than anybody else because for some reason they lost their ability to do that. My name is Chris Sanders. Our president is trying to start World War III. He has assigned Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk to lead a war, to disseminate the Pentagon. I will be at your services for free, boys. He has also chosen RFK Jr. to disseminate the chemical industry. I'm assuming Monsanto and giants like SmithKline Beecham Bear. And they will do anything at their power to go after this good man. We need to stand up for what is right. We need to make sure that every dollar is accounted for. Just like my book said, and it is the truth, the enemy that we have is not the rest of the world. It is the shadow government that is being funded as we speak, controlling the media, and the world is responding. The soldiers are marching because they've had enough of these payouts. Have you? So little Kim is very upset about this. Why would our Congress be quaking in their boots about Matt Gaetz? Well, the reason is because he's going to go after them. He's going to fire the old. He's going to implement term limitations. He's going to give us the tools maybe we need to save that house. For if not, and these skeletons remain, it'll look like an old folks' home seminar as they let our beautiful world crumble. In every way, they let it crumble. Putin, I want to thank you for not taking Wagon Joe's bait. And Russia breaks the silence on Biden's move. The question is, will he attack Germany? Will he attack Poland or just Kiev? Or will he hit Florida in the United States? How restrained will Putin be on this invasion into Russia that shouldn't have happened because of the laundromat that has been established with the stolen government between Wagon Joe and Vladimir Zelensky, Nikolai Carpathia? These people should never have been in office. Zelensky is a termed out president. He's illegally receiving the funds of the United States government. Wagon Joe just gave $9 billion to this laundromat. The figures I have done are going to blow your socks off, America. With that $9 billion, we could have housed every 107,000 homeless veterans we have that are on our streets today going into winter. In fact, with the money, we could have built them a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home on 2 acres and paid for their bills for the rest of their lives for free. Provided them a house that produces its own water, its own electricity, its own heat. To me, this is not just national security, it's true social security. And the fact that I've allocated that and can establish that in the states of Texas, Oklahoma, South Dakota, North Dakota, and Nebraska speaks volumes on how we should move as a country. We should respect the people that have continued to establish our freedoms. Today, only 77% of our younger class doesn't even qualify from physical fitness or mental health issues to even serve in the United States military today. That means there's just 23% of the nation's kids that are able. What is the decision they might do? What is the society that they want to uphold? And from what they see today, is it worth it? Well, we have to make America healthy again, because the majority class that we have today is 77% unhealthy. We've had a woke culture for the last 9 years that has trained our delinquents not to recognize the difference of what God has created. The image. Why is this a major conflict? Well, as of today, Hamas is hiding out in Turkey. They've been basically mutilated, denigrated, bombed, blown up. Citizens from Palestine are walking aimlessly in every direction, and some of them are hitting the shores of Turkey. Erdogan, who was our ally, now Erdogan stands divided. He says you are killing Semitic people, the Semitic people. So if you're anti-Semitic, how can you do this? Now, so Erdogan is taking refuge of the Palestinians, the Lebanese, and everybody that is being blown up by Benjamin Netanyahu. Our largest ally in NATO has folded off, so NATO is a wounded bird. For the people of Finland and Germany and Poland, you should know this, that you don't have Turkey on your side because of the treachery of the United States of America. And, of course, what we want to call and term as Jewish superiority. So Jewish superiority has crumbled NATO and the UN. Your second largest force, the force with Turkey, is now left. All of that United States gear equipment will now be used against Israel, but that's okay. Well, why is that okay, Chris? Well, it's okay because Wagon Joe gave $85 billion to the Taliban. Who do you think's designing this? Well, who is the culprit? What are they going to do? Do you think he cares about what the next 10 years shall bring? Or is he happy with what just time he's had here? I think he's happy with the time that he has had here, no matter what cost it has brought. Turkey shall give refuge to Hamas. Leaders from Qatar, the U.S. lashes out, but understand we're using our kids in Syria as cannon fodder. Same things with our kids in the Ukraine and our kids in Israel. We got 500 kids surrounded. I want you to think about this. Syria's got 250,000, with Turkey 750,000, but we're going to keep 500 troops out there. They're nothing but cannon fodder. Same thing with our troops in Israel. Same thing with our troops in Jordan, Syria, everywhere. They are there to die as pawns. This is the kind of leadership we have. And then they're doing stupid things, even to our allies, to where our allies are leaving us, leaving our kids as pawns. Do not tell me this nation cares. Our nation has been taken over by the shadow government, and we need people like Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk to disseminate the shadow government. The Pentagon spends more money that it cannot account for, that is more than our gross national product. That is how out of control we are. And the deed. And we cannot let just Wagon Joe tear it apart. World War III has pretty much just been activated by Wagon Joe, Benjamin Netanyahu, the military industrialization complex. Can we let them get away with the destruction of America? Because we only have December. If we make it even through November, we stand around as puppets in awe as we watch our president, a senile, corrupt old bag of bones, not even able to be reelected, literally start World War III in front of our eyes. But we don't have the ability to call a constitutional convention immediately for the safety of the American people, proving that our Senate, our entire Senate is inept and they all need to be fired. They're all corrupt. Proving that our legislative branch is in leagues with Lucifer and truly they stole the presidency because we just let somebody that everybody agrees is mentally inept, that cannot serve again, give a supposed laundromat alliance the ability to start World War III, and we're just watching him do it. We're watching him get away with it. We are watching these crimes. Who is accountable for letting this continue? Because the way I'm seeing it, Congress is completely in contempt. You're in violation of the War Powers Act of 1973. You're funding Zelensky. He is not even a legally elected president because he termed out. I could go on and on with the crimes. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, you've illegally supplied Benjamin Netanyahu with war equipment, which has murdered innocent people in Gaza. This cabinet is participating in genocide, and we are fighting very strange forces with our very own money daily. God bless each and every one of you. Please like, share, subscribe, keep in contact. But Wagon Joe is not letting a smooth transition happen. No. He's laying out the keys to start World War III in every way that he can. God bless you. God bless our families. God bless the United States of America. Good day.